Yes, it is a lake. Not just any old lake. This lake is filled with the most purest water in the whole kingdom. Everybody in the kingdom loves this lake except for one person. Can you guess who that is? The serpent. That is where our story begins, with the serpent and its trolls pacing back and forth in the dungeon, trying to think of a wicked plan. They scratched their heads, scratched their chins, and then they stopped right there, dead in their tracks, jumped up and shouted, "Aha! Gather around, trolls, I've got a wicked plan." And they whispered their wicked plan. And once they were done scheming their wicked plan, they threw their heads back and let out a wicked laugh. And then late that night, under the cover of darkness, they snuck down to the lake. Crouched by the edge of the water, and the serpent had two large fangs that he sunk deep in the water. He began pumping it full of poison. The serpents, the trolls, stirred the water around with their swords. No longer was this water crystal pure water, but ugly, dark, polluted water. They all jumped up and let out a wicked howl. And then they did the most wicked thing of all. They did a silly dance all the way back to their dungeons. Let's give them all a great big boo. But you can't applaud them for that silly dance. And then early in the morning, the animals and the villagers awoke and began skipping down to the lake. They knelt beside the lake, cupped their hands, and were about to take a sip. And that's when the wolf jumped up. She said, "Guys, this water smells funny. I don't think we should drink it." And then the beet farmer stood up. She said, "I recognize this smell. This smells like the serpent's poison. He caught me once and tried to make me drink it, but I was too fast and ran away." "Oh no, the serpent has poisoned our lake. What are we going to do?" And then the wolf said, "I know. We should go tell King Rowan. Follow me." So they began traveling into the forest. There were high tree branches that they had to duck below. There were big logs coming out of the ground that they had to jump over. And then, for what seems like they were going in circles, they came to it. A great big castle covered in vines. And who should come out but the great King Rowan and his woodland warriors. The animals and villagers bowed before him, and the king said, "Oh, no, you don't have to do that. You may get up. What are you doing here at my castle this early in the morning?" They began waving their hands, jumping up and down, and saying, Your Majesty, the serpent has poisoned our lake." When the knights heard this, they stuck up their swords and roared with anger. The king turned to his knights and said, "Knights, that's no way to act. That's not going to solve anything. But you see this horn that I carry around my neck? This was given to me by the unicorn when I was just a little prince. She taught me to play a tune on it, for when in the hour of greatest need, I could summon the unicorn, and she would come and save us." So the king clapped the horn to his lips and began to play. They all ran outside to look for the unicorn. They looked high up in the trees. She wasn't there. They looked low on the ground. She wasn't there either. They looked under their right foot, under their left foot, over their right shoulder, over their left shoulder. There she was nowhere to be found. So they stumbled back to the king, who was losing air. reminder? They shook their heads no. The king said, "Whoa, this is more serious than I thought. But fear not, I know of some powerful princesses up atop Crystal Mountain who might be able to help us. Follow me." So they followed the king to the base of the mountain, and they looked up high, higher, up to the highest mountain peak, and they started climbing up the mountain. They reached high, picked up their legs high, and they dug their nails into the Crystal Mountain. But as you can imagine, this crystal is very slippery to climb. They slid all the way over to the left. They slid all the way over to the right. They started sliding back, until they were dangling off the edge of the cliff, and they screamed. But that's when the littlest knight pointed his sword and said, "Wait! Why don't we just take the stairs?" They all smacked themselves on the head and said, "You're right," and followed the little knight up the stairs. They counted the stairs as they climbed. 1, 2, 344, 6,066, 987. But by now, they were too tired to keep going. Their tongues rolled out of their mouths. Their knees were wobbly than ever. One by one, they collapsed the side of the mountain. For it wasn't for the wolf, who jumped up and climbed to the last bit of stairs all the way up to the Crystal Mountain. And he knocked on the doors 3 times. And who should come out but the beautiful princesses? Princesses. They said to the wolf, "Oh, hello, wolf. How are you doing?" All of the wolf could say was, "Water," and fell down to the floor. The princesses, they looked down the mountain, and they saw all of their friends dying on the side of the mountain, and rushed down to help them. They tapped everybody on the heads with their wands, and as they did this, their mouths were filled with great big gulps of fresh spring water. If you're using your imagination, you could also feel this water. But then the queen said, "What are you guys all doing dying on the side of my mountain?" And they all bowed before the queen. She said, "You see, dear queen, the serpent has poisoned our lake." And once the princesses heard this, they screamed. Can you scream louder? Good job, princesses. But then the princesses raised their wands in the air and said, "Do not despair. For when I was a little princess, the unicorn taught me a tune to whistle. For when in the hour of greatest need, she would come down from the mountain and save us." So the queen stood up on her tippy toes, pursed her lips, and began to whistle. Everyone ran down the side of the mountain. They went all the way out to the north. They ran all the way down to the south. They went east and west and north by southeast and west by south-north. That's not even a direction at all. They began spinning around in circles, yelling, "Unicorn! Where are you?" But the unicorn was nowhere to be found, so they stumbled back to the queen, and hung their heads low, and thought they were going to cry. And then the queen said, "Worry not. The unicorn could be down by the lake purifying the water as we speak, for that is our only hope." So they began down into the forest. the trees had been growing tall and twisted, blocking the light from everyone's views. They began bumping into each other. And the princesses raised their wands, and a soft golden light shone through the darkness, lighting their way. But now the trees were dropping prickers on the ground. They had to tiptoe over them very carefully, but every once in a while they'd step on one and shoot 6 feet up in the air. And don't forget to say ouch. Ow, my tootsies. But by now, they were traveling for a whole week. They were so tired. Soon when they thought they could go no further, they burst through the line of trees, and there they saw it, their lake, which was nothing more than a dark, polluted puddle. They all collapsed by the lake's edge, and they cried. They cried so loud that the serpent heard them all the way in their dungeon. He was sitting on his balcony, and he thought this was quite funny. He turned to his trolls and said, "Trolls, now we've got them right where we want them, unable to fight. All we have to do is dunk their heads in the poison, make them drink it long enough for them to become trolls for the whole entire troll soccer team." So they crept behind the lake, all the way over to the other side. And when they got there, they knelt behind some bushes. These weren't just any old bushes. These bushes were ragweed. Serpent and his trolls began sneezing up a storm. If it wasn't for the little princess sitting behind the king, she jumped up, she pointed her wand to the trolls, to the bushes, and she said, "You hear those bushes over there? Those bushes are sneezing. But I don't think those are sneezing bushes. I think that's an ambush." Get it? No? Okay. They ran over to the other side of the lake and stood in battle formation. The king and the knights stood on the first line. The princesses got behind them as a second line of defense, and the animals and villagers stood behind everyone else. And the king turned to his knights and said, "All right, knights, we're going to crawl towards those bushes." So they began crawling, but the princesses stayed behind. And as they got closer, the serpent and his trolls put their fingers under their noses, but their lungs grew larger and larger until they could no longer hold it in, and the trolls and the rest of the audience let out the biggest sneeze you've ever heard. And the knights and the serpent, knights and king, were blown onto their backs, covered in troll boogies. The serpent and his trolls jumped up and were about ready to skewer the knights, but the princesses were too fast. They pointed their wands at them, and their wands began to shiver and shake, and the serpent and his trolls began to shrivel and shrink, smaller, smaller, and smaller and smaller, until they were the size of baby peas. And the king and his knights stood up, dusted themselves off, looked around, but they couldn't find the serpent and his trolls. So they turned to the princesses and said, "Princesses, we don't mean to be rude, but how could we fight something that we can't even see? Could you make them just a little bit bigger?" The princesses put their hands on their hips and sighed, "As you wish." And they began casting their spells. The serpent and his trolls grew taller and taller until they were the size of trees, and a slow motion battle between the trolls and the knights began. Steel clashed against steel. Sparks flew over the once beautiful murky waters. Villagers ran out into the battlefield and began bopping everybody on their heads. princesses casted spells. They ran out into the battlefield and began casting spells on everybody. But by this time, the princesses were too tired. The knights, they were far too tired. The trolls were way too big. The trolls and the serpent knocked the swords out of every knight's hands. Gently. The knights held up their shields in front of them and were preparing to be skewered by the trolls. But the trolls saw something in these shields that they have never seen before, their own reflections. They thought they were quite gorgeous, until now. They saw what the poison has made them. Ugly. They ran back to their dungeons. Not you, Serpent, you stay behind. But the Serpent stayed behind. And the Serpent was angry by this. So he placed down his sword, stuck out his fingertips, and began shooting blue lightning throughout the land, making the water look like blue raspberry slushy. So they all stuck out their arms, their eyes grew wider than ever, and gathered around the lake. They cupped their hands and drew the water close to their lips. But that's when the queen jumped up. She said, "Wait, I've been whistling my tune wrong." She began whistling it. Everyone threw the water back into the lake. The serpent was furious by this. He began shooting red lightning, making the water look like pomegranate juice. They all cupped their hands, were just about ready to drink it. That's when the king jumped up. He said, "That's right, I have been whistling my tune wrong." He clapped the horn to his lips and began to play. By this, the serpent was furious. He began shooting pink lighting out his fingertips, making the water look like pink lemonade with ice cubes floating on the top. They all cupped their hands and were just about ready to take a sip, but with the music between the king and the queen took it by a strong wind higher and higher to the highest mountain peak, where there at last, in the hour of greatest need, the unicorn did hear the music. She stopped to see everyone just about ready to drink the poison. She stood in front of the serpent and the lake, and the serpent began shooting her with black lightning, forcing the unicorn back, until her back hoof was about to touch the poison, but she would yield no further. So the serpent lunged towards her to push her in, but pierced himself upon her horn and fell to the ground. Wearily, the unicorn turned to the water, and with the touch of her horn, the water was no longer ugly, dark water, but crystal blue water once again. Everyone was so happy that they began taking big gulps of the water. But then when they looked over their shoulder, they could see someone creeping over to them, looking as jealous as all. But the trolls, they said, "Could we have some of your water? We're tired of being wicked old trolls. We want to be pretty like princesses, or handsome like knights." So the king said, "Yes, you may have some of our water, if you place down your weapons." And the trolls walked over to the water and began sipping the water. And then when they peeled back their helmets and peeled off their cloaks, they were no longer ugly trolls, but the most adorable creatures you've ever seen. And then another gift from the unicorn. High up in the sky came the most mystical, magical polka. They all began jumping up and down, and twirling round and round, clapping their hands and stomping their feet, having a jolly good time. Huzzah! But then they stopped. Because then who did they see over their shoulders? But the serpent, who was crawling towards the lake, saying, "This water, does it heal wounds too?" And he dove into the lake, body and all, and began splashing about. His serpentine head fell into the water. His scaly scales melted off. And when he jumped up out of the water, he was no longer a serpent, but the most happiest chap you've ever seen. He says, "I'm sorry for poisoning your lake. Is there anything I could do to apologize?" So they all scratched their head for a moment. Said, "Yes, all may be forgiven if you teach us your silly serpent dance." So everything that the serpent did with his arms, they did with their arms. Everything he did with his legs, he did with his legs. And soon, they were dancing their own dances, and they danced like this for 6 whole months. A long time, I know. And at the end of their celebration, they gathered back to the lake, lifted their hands up to the sky, and let out the loudest cheer you've ever heard. And then they did the silliest thing of all. They turned to their audience and gave a bow to thunderous applause. Keep bowing, there's still clapping.